Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to Channel Your Light, Own Your Intuitive. This is a very impromptu message, but it's about somebody, one of your beautiful viewers here in the YouTube community, who is starting a new project. I'm hearing it's about the new project. So I feel like whoever this is, you work with the angelical realms because I have a guardian. I'm hearing a guardian, also an angel. I also have the King Arthur, Knights of the Round kind of an energy coming up and around. There are a few channels which I feel like whoever this message is for, those are upcoming. It's taken me some time to do a lot of editing for all the different channels that have been coming through for all of you beautiful souls. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being alive, living your journey, being who you are, and just your beautiful hearts. Thank you. I cannot thank you enough. And it's a privilege and an honor to be here with all of you. So about this new project, whoever this message is for, this is a hidden, I'm hearing it's a hidden new project. And I almost feel they're going like this. Shh. It's almost as if this new project is in its beginning stages of unfolding, and it's not quite ready to be shared with others. I'm hearing, so don't get your panties in a bunch, whoever this is for. Don't get your panties in a bunch thinking that it has to be at a certain time or something to that way, because what you're actually doing is constricting the energy when it's supposed to be flowing naturally and easily. Now, whoever this message is for, I also feel like you know that we're in a time frame right now where the difference between a flowing energy, something that is easy, something that naturally flows effortlessly with just pure divine energy, there's such a drastic difference or contrast between that and the I got to get it done, I got to do it now, it has to be like this, it has to be this time frame, and why isn't it working? And I feel like that's part of the push and the pull of the energies and the extremes that we're all witnessing right now in the earth plane. And I'm also being told, whoever this message is for, that's the outdated mode or your outdated version of you that you were operating from as part of your conditioning to how you needed to move the energy or move yourself forwards. But there's an easier path right now. And this easier path is settling into your joy, settling into, just taking a simple action. We're just coming off the new moon in Gemini, but this is a powerful new moon, friends. I feel like it's one of the most potent ones of the entire year of 2025, just because of the other planetary dynamics that have surrounded it and the amount of shifts that haven't happened in hundreds of years here on the earth plane. So it's potent energy. And they're just making me feel like that outdated version of you or that outdated way of doing things can't help you channel the flow. You have to completely let go of the paradigm, and you'll discover you get things done 10 times faster. You'll discover the creative juices flow with such ease and effort. I'm also hearing if you would just do something like dance or do yoga or take a walk or go down to the beach or go out into the woods walking. Maybe you need to get out of the city is what I'm hearing for some of you on here. Maybe you live in a city. Just get out of the city. Take a moment. Take a breath. Take a bath. Just breathe. They're saying just breathe. This is going to be so much easier than the fast-paced, I'm hearing modality or versions that were required when the energy wasn't as aligned as it is right now. It's almost like the energy is aligned, immersive. Spirit, where do you want to go with this? Whoever's message this is, your guides are saying they're asking you to immerse in just like a daily breathing practice or ritual or meditation or something to that effect. They're also saying you did do it, but you kind of got swayed or taken away from it. Now it's time to come back to it. So that also brings me to spiritual hygiene at this time, because there's such enormous swells, breakthroughs, epiphanies, extremes, highs and lows in the collective consciousness through this great awakening or this part or phase of the journey, it is of utmost importance for your own clarity and your own sanity and to move through your own transformations that you have clear energy. And clear energy allows you to perceive clearly. It allows you to not feel like you're making rash decisions, but it also allows you to, oh, I'm seeing whoever this message is for, you're also at a fork in the road and you're afraid you're going to make the wrong decision. And the spiritual guidance coming through from the angels is they're literally pointing the way for you and have been for quite some time. And you know this. The doubt, the confusion, the unsureness that you have has zero zip zilch, nothing to do with your own clarity of your own path. It has nothing to do with you not even seeing the angelic realms and your guides. I'm hearing Michael, Archangel Michael for somebody on here, or perhaps your name is Michael. You already know which way to go. The doubt, the confusion are all just like this staticky kind of an energy that's happening right now. And it's happening in the collectives. Whoever this message is for, you're not just sensing collectively what's happening through your own perceptions of yourself, which is very fifth dimensional and operating on a very high vibration of heightened sensitivities to frequencies. But what's also happening at the same time, they're showing me different layers and levels of this one experience you're having and all the different aspects of it. So it can help you to move with a greater clarity and a greater ease. So they're saying not only are you picking up on the collective consciousness and all of their extremes, all their clarity, all their doubts, because they're all in the midst of a transformation energetically as well. But they're saying, I'm shuffling cards here, but I'm not actually pulling them. That's so funny. But they're also saying you're also experiencing versions of you that are outdated as well. The version of you who would make a decision solely based on maybe facts or stats. I'm seeing a statistician. That's so interesting. So maybe that's your job. Maybe that's part of your job or what you do, as there's a confirmation that there's something in this message for you. But they're saying the previous version of you would go by stats, by numbers, by very logical things. And they're saying, but this grander version of you, and I say grander not because you weren't grand to begin with, you always were. They're saying grander is the implications of the word grander for this particular message is actually about a greater depth of you. It's almost like more of you is coming online. So you don't just have to rely on your mind to make a decision. You can rely on the emotive factors. You can rely on an unconscious knowing. You can rely on your intuition. You can rely on your clairs. It's like more of you is coming online. So you have a grander capacity to touch, to feel, to sense, to know, to make decisions or take actions. They're also saying whoever this message is for, you're acclimating to that. So just to slow down, there is no rush. You cannot miss this. Whoever this is for, you can't miss it. You couldn't miss it if you tried to. This new project or whatever it is you're building or creating, for some of you, it's this idea that you have that you're bringing to life. Or maybe you just got the idea. Maybe it's been a lifelong idea. Place it how it resonates for you. But you've got an angelical team on your side ensuring that this comes to form. And I'm also seeing the Rowan tree. And this is a card. And it says, there is no need to fear, my dear. I'm just going by memory what I'm seeing in my imaging faculty of the imprint of this card. Wow. That's a note for somebody on here. I am right now, to see this card is not an intuitive hit in terms of coming from the divine angelical guidance. This is a very succinct teaching tool right now for somebody on here to help you really define and categorize your intuitive aspects and how information is coming through, particularly if you're highly sensitive. So I intuitively know that I need to draw on something from my image faculty that I've seen before that's relevant to the message, that has the message that I need. Even though that image or that imprint or that perception was given to me hours before, days before, weeks before, months before, or even years before, or even somewhere out in the collective from somebody else's imaging faculty. Yes, that is a truth. And yes, many people are going to suddenly begin to open up to a very vast, expanded awareness that defies everything that we thought we knew. And this makes me so excited because it feels like home to me. Feels like home to me. Who sings that song? Feels like I'm all the way back where I belong. Feels like you're all the way back where you belong. You're coming deeper into the home of the self, which means more of you is coming online, and there's grander aspects of your energy taking up space and being utilized in the consciousness, in your sensory abilities, in the possibilities. Oh, this feels so good for somebody on here. And I feel like whatever this project is does have to do with some type of an intuitive factor. Okay. And perhaps you connect with the green man. So the green man, it's also card number 15. In Celtic lore, Celtic mythology, this is one of the gods who are worshipped. The green man. The green man is abundant. He knows he can have what he wants. He doesn't need to move into this, oh, if I don't do it now, I'm not going to get it. Unless that really is the time frame that's happening for you. Whoever this message is for, that's not the case. You are bringing, I'm seeing coming to life. You are bringing, again, so you see the image, I'm seeing the card intuitively. My intuition is telling me this is the image from the imaging faculty we need to draw forward. This is really important for somebody on here to understand the capacity of how some of the intuitive workings operate, because some people just think it's all intuition, but there's so many nuts and bolts. And this is what I love about intuition. And I love teaching it because we break down those nuts and bolts. We tie in the quantum physics, and we have the capacity and ability to truly understand our gifts, to be able to utilize them in the best way possible to help us move forward on our trajectory, understand our lives, overcome challenges. Just, it's so helpful. I don't know how people live without operating like this. And on the same opposite end of the spectrum, I will tell you that I also have experienced this in ways that this is specific for somebody on here, where having that much opening and that much understanding, how does somebody live like that? It's such a burden. It's too much to sense on all those levels. So both are true. Both are a truth. But we're coming into a time frame where I got on a tangent there, friends. So let me just read this to you right now. It says, all that I desire comes to me easily and effortlessly. I know this to be true, for I am abundant in all that I do. And I'm hearing them repeat on repeat. Fear not, dear one. You have always been protected, and you always will be. You always are. And for me, that feels like somebody on here. I don't know if you're afraid of, and I'm seeing gems, afraid of, there's like this fear of running out of time. There's a fear of, they're saying time is literally on your side. Whoever this is, you're mastering time on another level. And they're saying time is on your side because when you dip into this new version of you, or a new operating system or new way of doing things, time is not the same. It's not the same as like, I got a 9 to 5. I got to do it this way. I got to hit this deadline. It's not the same. If you lean into this new, it's not new, it's old, it's origins. That's just the reality of it. It's old origins, a true mode of operating from a divine alignment and understanding of the time-space continuum, and understanding of the true capacity of one's ability to create, to manifest. When you move, when the energy is aligned, something that might have taken you 3 weeks to do happens in a matter of 2 days. I can literally attest to this, friends. Me personally, myself, I've had these experiences. I've witnessed others having these experiences. Something that would take you 3 weeks, you can do in 3 hours to 3 days. And that's when you're aligned with the energy. So this green man, I want to come back to this because this is about somebody's new project. Whoever this is, you're actually operating outside of linear time. And it's important that you keep leaning in, you keep surrendering, you keep letting go into that. And man, you are just going to see so much magic happen. It's, it's magic, you know. It feels like magic, but it's not magic. It's you operating outside the time-space linear box continuum and accessing this grander version of you that connects in all realms and dimensions. It can access what you need, when you need it, how you need it, when the energy is aligned. So if you're constricting and like worrying about time and this, that, and the other thing, they're saying you're actually in your own way when you try and do it that way. You can't miss this. I don't know who this is, but it's impossible for you to miss this. It is divine destiny. It is divinely aligned. It has been planned. Ooh, the divine director is stepping forward. This has been planned for longer than any of you could possibly comprehend. And even those that dip in and out of consciousness, the ancient minds and the ancient origins, not everyone has the entire full picture, but you all work together with each pieces of the puzzle in order to put the full puzzle together. Much like this is the collective consciousness. The collective consciousness cannot exist if there is only one of you. It cannot truly be felt in the depth and the breadth of co-creating in worlds and divining and understanding and expressing without having multiple millions of people with multiple expressions, multiple puzzle pieces going into the pie. At times you might look at the collective consciousness as the universe is learning from us. And it is. That's the truth. You can put that into any paradigm that you want to, and the paradigm will either leave you feeling breathless, catch my breath, will either leave you feeling breathless with elation, delight, empowerment, creativity, flow, or it will make you feel constricted. It'll make you, I'm seeing somebody's fire, getting angry, getting irritated over something. And I feel like it has to do with control factors. They either cannot control you, or they're wanting to control a narrative about you, or they're feeling like they've got their hands on the pot, not realizing that the pot is not what they think it is. Surprise! Now I'm hearing, I believe I can fly. So interesting. Ooh, here's the next card out, and I didn't pull this. It's on the bottom of the deck. I'm hearing the Oracle. I'm also seeing Earth Worship. Worship in the Earth, and it's card number 7, and that's connected to, I think, a previous channel that was just done. But anyways, it says, until my body is in your arms, I will worship you, dear mother of mine. So that has multiple connotations. You could think of the divine mother, Mother Gaia, also a feminine energy. Until my body is in your arms. I want you to notice she's holding the tree. Not the trees. She's not leaning against the tree. She's holding the tree. This also brings me to another metaphor that came through quite some time ago. It's about the earth plane. We're moving collectively, and everybody's at different levels, from feeling like we're just this little person in this great big world, like we're a little ant and we can't affect change and we can't exact our will to create what we truly want to create. But we're moving into this state of empowerment, of understanding, of elevated consciousness, that I got the whole world in my hands, that you've got the world, instead of it being out here and you feeling its vastness and feeling so teeny tiny, which, side note, can be an extremely blissful and peaceful experience. I have that way of water, mother of water, the water goddess, and the geishas. I'm going to have to sit down and dive deeply back into that one, because I know I did it previously, but I wanted more. So that's just my confirmation. Wow, there's a lot to come through here, friends. Please bear with me. So we're going back to the outer world, feeling like this little thing in the world and being so in awe of the macro. But we're now coming to this time point where you're becoming the macro and you're holding the earth of you, the earth of your creations, the earth of how you want to experience and express life in this incarnation. And it's like you're holding it in your hands now. Those are two completely opposite paradigms. And I'm sharing the two of them to ask you, which one helps you to craft a life that you love? Which one makes you feel empowered to live in joy, to align with other people in joy, to create and build and play and express and all those good things. Which one of those paradigms actually allow for the possibility of doing that? The one where you feel like the world is like this, you could say, yes, that's the truth. I'm going to deliver both truths. Neither of these are wrong. You could say yes and say, yeah, look at the vastness of the world, all the things I have to play with, all the things I can shape and mold, all the giant pool of experiences of the earth plane, which is exquisite to utilize, to build, to master, and to create. So that might be your path. I have an angel pointing on down the pathway again. This path right here. Here's the other path. You're holding the world in your hands. You get to co-create what you build, how you live, who you coincide with, how you express and experience things. And then you move on to picking and choosing and moving and all these different things. Whoever this message is for this new project, they're illuminating for you that your experience in this life has been you feeling burdened by not being able to exact what you want to in this world, to create, to shape, to mold. You're moving, they're really pointing over this path, this one right here is you having the world in your hands, meaning you get to actively become a participant in crafting your world. Whereas previously, I'm seeing chains. You felt chained. You couldn't make decisions for yourself. And they're saying that's not quite true, but that is a nuance of it. They're also saying there's an error in that statement. It's not that you couldn't make decisions for yourself. It's that you were constantly making decisions and constantly coming up, thank you, Spirit, constantly coming up against, I want to say spiritual bullies, people who felt like that should be a different way, people who felt like they knew what was best for you, but it was really based on what they felt was best for them and how you align with them. There's all these dynamics. Maybe it was structures and institutions. Maybe you're creating something that defies what they allow in or what the regulations are for particular structures and teaching modalities and different genres. If you're trying to create something that's new and tangible and really elevated and outside of those boxes, you probably felt like you had this great big world and I can't really create what I want to create because nothing is aligned or conducive of it. None of these people are willing to create this beautiful elevated reality with you. So this is a time frame. The angels are they're all nodding their head in the room. Now I got a whole conglomerate here. I don't often use conglomerate, so I recognize that is a greater meaning for somebody on here. I also feel like that's also my nod to you. Interesting. Thank you. Now I have giant hands coming down, the hands of divinity. We hold these messages. We hold all those. It's almost like I'm seeing this giant hands above, almost like the candle maker from what's that movie? I can't remember. Holding these giant hands above. But they're coming around all the angelic guides. You could perceive this as how some people would logically personify God and the angelical realms and the different layers and levels. But they're saying they're illuminating it like this for a reason. And I'm not to place it in a specific box because everyone watching this channel, if you're still watching, will be perceiving it from a different level and it will make sense to you in your own perception and in your own way. And you are to align with that. This is why the angels have been pointing the way for you. So here's these beautiful, glorious hands that aren't hands, but we're going to use hands. It's like an energy, an overarching energy that just comes down and surrounds, overseeing, divine director, overseeing all parties that are part of this co-creative state. If too many parties are bullying or denying or not allowing an evolution that is congruent and in alignment with the current trajectory of energy, both cosmically, both internally and externally, both in the collective unconscious and conscious, then we end up shifting them. That's how they're putting it through. It's almost like the hands begin to shift those things so that they can realign to the new trajectory as well. They're saying And they're all saying it now. So I got angels here, I got guides here, I have like mini groups of people here. It's like they're sitting at my desk watching me, which is kind of creepy, I'm not gonna lie. And then I have this overseeing energy. We're all shifting and moving. The collective unconsciousness is moving, therefore the collective consciousness is moving. The conscious awareness and the unconscious underpinning it. So we have all these groups here, and then we have this overarching energy of the divine director. And this goes back to that Rowan tree. They're saying that's the Rowan tree, kind of an idea. And I know for some of you that has a totally different meaning. In spell casting, the Rowan is used for very specific things. And for somebody on here, maybe you are a witchy woman or a witchy man, however you want to label it, and you have a Rowan tree, or you've been to a Rowan tree, or you use that in some of your herbal castings. I don't know, take it how it resonates. There's a reason why I'm getting the Rowan tree and protection and the green man. I'm abundant in all that I do. Abundance is an energy. Abundance is a flow. And the entire earth plane is actually teeming with it. The air in between here is teeming with that abundance. They're saying, come back to the hands here, and you're getting sidetracked. Do you guys get sidetracked too, friends? Let me know, because sometimes there's so much happening and I'm like, oh, I remember this. And oh, what about this? And what about that? They're saying it's all interwoven and interconnected. And that is the profoundness of consciousness, is the ability for the brain, the mind to, I'm seeing somebody's brain light up. The divine director is nodding his head. This is where we'd like to go. When the brain lights up, like you have the left side and the right side, and when these two operate like a hemisync, I guess you could say, everything's moving in alignment, in a beautiful harmony. There's no blockages because it's just moving together as one. Whereas when only one side of the brain is more dominant than the other and the other is weakened, that side's going to be being strengthened right now in this collective great awakening. It's not just about, intuition or energy or the body or emotions. It's about the mind. It's about the brain, right? When we change these collective energetic fields, when the waveforms begin aligning on a different vibratory factor, everything else changes. Everything changes. So, wow, this is a really interesting message that's really diving into a lot of different things. And I love it because I feel like I'm hearing variety. It's like a variety show. Maybe it's like a variety show, but come on, friends. How boring would life be if we only ever talked about one thing all the time? And it would be terrible. Anyways, maybe you're going to be creating a variety show. I have no idea. So let's go back here to the divine director. What is the final message for this? To the one beginning a new project, you are tuning into the multiplicity of the many different avenues and facets. The angels are pointing the way for the one that the message is for, beginning a new project. You'll be, perhaps your new project involves all these multiple modalities and bringing them together, creating a wholer picture, illuminating the interconnectedness. They're also saying, I'm going back to the divine director. Now I feel like somebody else's higher self or active consciousness. However this is, you're aware of your higher self and you actively enter other people's domains, but you do it uninvited. So whoever that message is for, it's the divine director has his hands like this. I'm hearing this. There are times where others will enter your energetic domain, and it is for your highest benefit, as a gift, as a guide. Ears wide open, whispering. However, there are those who, I know exactly what this is. However, there are those who enter into others' domain, not because it is for your highest spiritual benefit, nor is it a gift. It is because they do not understand how the energy works, how their energy impacts others. So I'm going to explain this in a tangible way, friends. I know when somebody's aligned with me, is respectful of energy, and is operating from a vibration or an embodiment that is aligned with me, because they'll show up as their higher selves. It is never coming into my sphere Whereas somebody who doesn't understand that, isn't at that vibratory factor, it's like their energy pushes in, but it pushes in, it literally, I see it as energy fields, and each energy field is graded. It's like a gradual density, lightness, all those things. So when somebody comes in on a certain plane of awareness in a certain energy, if it's not at that level, I always know that that's my, wow, I did not expect to be going here, friends. This is so interesting. I always know that they're not aligned with me because they're pushing into my energy. They're uninvited. And sometimes people know this and sometimes people don't know this. They just don't know how the different energy fields work. They don't understand those capacities of them. And sometimes people are just darn well pushy, right? Sometimes people are just darn well pushy, and I don't like that. Anyways, so they're saying this is just tuning to something that normally I would teach, is how do you know if somebody is aligned with you or operating on their higher selves? There's a certain vibration with it. It's never pushing in. It's never crossing a boundary. It's never crossing a line. It is complete unconditional. It's an ease and flow. It moves with you as you do. It doesn't push you. It doesn't manipulate you. I don't know how else to describe it, but I feel like I've done my best to articulate that. That's a side note for somebody on here. They're nodding, the divine director is nodding his head, saying for those of you who have just been up leveled in your gifts, I'm going to pull one more card as the guidance for that. For those of you who have been up leveled in your gift, you're going to start noticing a intense difference in energies. Whenever you have crystal clear energy, any negative energies, any energies that are malaligned become really, really obvious. And you might think it's getting worse, like, oh, I cleared my energy and now it's worse. But what's actually happening is it's always been like that. You're just sensing it clearly rather than sensing it, but also being like embodied with it. There's just different aspects of explaining it. Well, friends, whoever's a new project this is, what's the guidance? They're all backing up now, and I'm hearing, thank you, Erin. Thank you. And we're sharing this message for the highest spiritual benefit or guidance for whoever is watching this video. Friends, I gotta know in the comments, is this your message? It might be just bits and pieces, right? Never make a message fit. But I do want to get one card just to close out as the guidance for the one beginning the new project. That sounds so amazing. I always hold a card up to my nose like, whoo, bonfire. Whoa, that is a raging soul on fire. And it's number 2, so that might be significant for you. I'm hearing somebody's soul is on fire. And I don't mean someone's soul as in, I don't mean somebody's soul is on fire as in it's a bad thing. I mean somebody's soul has been ignited with the divine fire of absolute clarity on where you're going. And now all the angels are now pointing over here. All the angels are pointing this way. And notice it's right to the future. Every time I think about Blue Tara, she's always facing the future. And that's what they're pointing to. We're future forward facing. This is what we're going towards. And they're saying somebody's soul is just lit up with the divine fire, with their divine essence in this earthly plane, allowing everything to take form. Oh, I'm throwing cards here. How excited I am. I'm throwing cards. Allowing everything to take form, to burn so clearly for this beautiful new path that probably brings you great joy. It's a birth of consciousness that comes along with it. It's so beautiful. This is just beautiful. I'm going to read this card to you as well. It is through remembering that you will wake the ritual of your existence and be reborn in mighty celebration. It feels really good, my friends. I'm also being pointed out to the nose ring on here that normally I don't really pay attention to those things like that, but this is being pointed out. So you may have a nose ring. I don't know. Take it as it resonates. Normally I wouldn't pick that out, but it's sticking out really strongly. I also am getting I'm also getting Mayan with this. a lot of really, really interesting. Okay, so a lot of ancient civilization kind of energy coming through here that dealt with predominantly goddesses and gods and had a certain way of doing things. They're referencing the Mayan calendar. I feel like 2012 was significant for the Mayan calendar, but I could be wrong. There's just something significant about that in this time frame right now. So perhaps it's just something you've been exploring, that Mayan culture and the Mayan calendar, but it's almost like I ran a retreat in Costa Rica in 2023. It was so amazing. And we ended up going through the jungle. And when we were going through the jungle, I'm sharing this because it's relevant to whoever's energy this is as a confirmation for you. When we went through the jungle, when we were there, and I went twice, friends, twice in a span of 6 months. But the first time we went through it, was it the first time? The first time we went through it, the second I entered the jungle, there was like all these ancient deities, gods. I'm hearing a head leader, so all these different things to do with that culture that just showed up at the mouth of the jungle to invite me in and walk with me through it. And that very first time, a snake had shed its almost its entire skin as one piece. It wasn't, I shed a piece here and I shed a piece there. It was a full-on shedding of the entire snake, and it was hanging over a tree branch. Nobody else walking in the jungle saw it but me, and I went last because I like to take my time to look at everything and explore and take it in and feel it, and I like to do all those things and really dabble in there just to immerse myself in it. Not one person who was there in the big group in the jungle with me saw this. I had to call to them and say, hey, did you guys see this? And it was ridiculous. But they're saying, whoever this message is for and whoever this confirmation is for, your shedding process that, for some people it's layers and it takes a long time. I'll do this piece this year, that piece that year. Whoever this is, you just went through a full shedding from head to toe. From head to toe, you did a full shedding in one fell swoop. Whoever that is incredible. I feel like I need to wrap up this channel because I've been going on and on about it. But the reason I'm tying into this is that's the energy it's giving me, which means some of you are having, I'm hearing exponential spiritual experiences with clear deities, guides, gods, angels, all showing up for you. And it can be a little bit overwhelming at first as you just get used to your new skin. I'm seeing that shedded snake skin. You just get used to that new skin. So fascinating. It really fascinating energy. So that's part of whoever this message is for. That's part of your great awakening. And I actually feel like this last piece here might be for somebody else entirely and not for the person at the beginning. But take it how it resonates for you. Allow it to settle and integrate where it does. Use your intuition to discern. If it's not for you, it's not for you. Don't worry about it. There's lots of channels coming out on my channel. There's lots of times I'm going to tune to a multitude of different energies. Sometimes it's just one energy in a video. Sometimes I'm pulling multiple messages from multiple people because all they need is just a line or something to that effect. So this last piece, you rolling with rulers. That's what I'm hearing. You are rolling with rulers. And they're not the rulers that we would look at on this earth plane and see them. You're rolling with divine rulers. You're playing the divine game. You're not playing the earthly game. And this changes things. It changes things massively. The trajectory, it changes everything. And again, all the angels are pointing this way towards your future. And you are not alone. You are not alone, whoever that message is for. So friends, let me know in the comments, did that resonate for you? Were there bits and pieces? Have you guys been having these exponential spiritual experiences up level? Do you have new projects on the go? It's so exciting to create and have that, dive into the flow. Just going back to the very beginning of the message is diving into that flow of the energy, operating from that mode rather than the old mode of the linear aspects. Why would you do that when you can draw on the different aspects of time? So cool. Anyways, So beautiful souls, I'm closing it there because clearly I could go on and on and on and on. I will not do that to you. I will not do that to me. And there's a time and a place for everything. If you wish to connect with me, have a private session, take one of our courses, please feel free to visit me on my website, subscribe to our email list so you can catch the Freedom Friday email series and all the other fun giveaways that are happening in June because it's my daughter Ava's birthday. I'm very excited for it. And I'll catch you in the next video.